The road is long, with many winding turns that leads us to who knows where, who knows where. But I'm strong enough to carry you. You aren't heavy, no, no, no. You're my brother. So on we go. Your welfare is my concern. No burden are you to bear. We'll get there. For I know you would not encumber me. You aren't heavy, no, 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 no. You're my mother. If I'm laden it all, well, I'm laden with sadness that everyone's heart isn't filled with gladness and love for one another. It's a long, long road from which there is no return. And while we're on our way to there, why not share? And the load doesn't weigh me down at all. You aren't heavy, no, no, no. You're my other. Thank you very much. I love that song. I have a question for you. Would you rather hang out with somebody who's extremely sad or somebody who's extremely mad? Exactly. Think about that for a second. I know some people who don't want to be around people who are extremely sad. They want to be around people that cry. I know I've had men in my life that like once you start crying, they're like, well, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do to try to fix it, right? So do you want to be around somebody who's extremely sad or somebody who's extremely mad? They're all going sad, yeah, right? Because when someone's sad, you kind of feel like you can approach them, right? You can come up to them and you can say, it's going to be all right. Don't say that. I'm just telling you now, it really isn't the best thing to say. We want to tell them, but really they're in the moment. They're not thinking, it's going to be all right in 10 years. No. So to come and sit with them and you say, hi, you look so sad, or I am so sorry this is happening for you. Tell me about it if you want to. How can I support you? But it's so approachable to be able to come and sit and say those things to that person. They feel validated for the actual sadness that they're feeling because you're there with them. You know, they're going to work through it. At some point, you're going, yes, we're going to get through this, right? That's encouraging, right? But just being able to sit with a person that's experiencing that extreme sadness is really helpful. But then there's those people who are extremely angry, right? And you're like, calm down. No, don't say that. You know, if you say calm down or chill out to anyone that's really angry, that is not the thing. They're like, okay, right? I'm coming right through you. I'm coming at you now, right? So again, instead, you can come alongside them. Gosh, you look frustrated. Man, you look angry. Tell me about it. Now, the thing about it is when people are angry, they're pushing, right? Whereas sadness, it's easier to draw someone in. So someone who's angry, but if you can, you don't have to come close to them, give them their space, but then say those same kind of words. You look so angry. Tell me about what's going on. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that. How can I support you? You can use the same words in both situations. And with somebody who's extremely angry, once you start saying those words, oh my gosh, their anger will, it just drops. Because again, you're validating their current experience. And that's often what people need to happen, to have one of those others. But again, it's easier to approach somebody who's feeling sad versus someone who is feeling angry. Now, I used to teach anger management classes for about 3 years when I was in Hawaii, and I worked for, we did classes for family court. So we did these classes for teenagers who were sent to us from either being violent in schools, at home, in the community. And so they said, well, it's an anger issue, right? And so they would send them to us, and they would have to do a 6-week program. I also did them for perpetrators of domestic violence. But theirs was a longer week thing because we combined some domestic violence stuff along with that. But we used a lot of the same tools. And so me and my partner, Chris Leong, we would we partnered because we would show how both a man and a woman could be together, because sometimes it's really over a power struggle between men and women. So to see a man and a woman co-leading something was really helpful. Plus he was Chinese and I was as Caucasian as you can get. And so to see that as well, we're modeling that as a team in that situation in Hawaii. And one of the things that we told our students was that anger, first of all, anger and violence are different things. Anger is an emotion. Violence is an action. So although you were violent, the violence came out of your anger. So we went right away and said, anger is an emotion and it's okay. It's an emotion. There is nothing wrong with emotions. You can have any emotion you want. Take whatever you want. I'm gonna take the emotion snootiness. I feel snooty. I can have that, I can own it. Now, if I start acting it, not so good. But I can take whatever emotion and feel it. That's what my prerogative is. But the other thing we told them was that anger is often a secondary emotion. What you often experience before anger is something else. And if you can examine your anger and start to look below it, what's below it, you would usually find some kind of fear or some kind of hurt. Now, I think the idea of feeling worthless or out of control, those fit in there somewhere too. What are you afraid of not controlling this, or being out of control, or the hurt of feeling worthless? I mean, they're connected. So it's a real general picture of fear and a general picture of hurt. So by doing that, we got the students to then think, what is below my anger? And so that was helpful, right, to be able to work your way through the anger. We also talked about a scale, 1 to 10, in terms of the anger scale. So when you're feeling angry, you can have these little bits of anger, a little bit more bits of anger, all the way up to 10. Now, at 10 is when you lose it. Your brain turns off and you just blow. And there's a lot of things that when we start like 6, 7, 8, maybe things come out of our mouths that we don't want to wish later that we didn't say, right? But sometimes on the lower levels, we can still manage ourselves. Sometimes we can even hide it and we stuff it down in. Unfortunately, what happens is we tend to stuff until it gets its way up, and then boom, something happens to that, right? Okay. So anger is not a pleasant emotion to be around. Why? And most of us, in some kind of sense, it creates anxiety or fear. Because when somebody's angry, okay, it's an emotion, but where are they on that anger scale? Do they have control of their behavior? So really, it's not that necessarily the emotion, it's what's going to come out of that person when they're feeling angry. What are the words, if we have someone around that maybe typically says something that they kind of lose it? I have students at school that say the meanest things, you know? And I immediately go, okay, they're angry. You know, I don't take that personally. I know that it's their anger coming out, right? I mean, I come later to them and say, okay, how could you say that differently next time? Because that wasn't an appropriate thing to say, right? I've said stuff, even myself, under my breath, or, you know, kind of snooty like, and it's like, okay, that wasn't a very, very nice thing to say, that comes out. So the part of feeling uncomfortable because we don't know what's going to come out of their mouth, right? And if you ever seen someone angry, then starts to like throw things, you know, and I know that there's probably people in here that have experienced domestic violence and stuff, and that's part of your story. And I have been part of that. So part of that, so if you're at all uncomfortable with anything, feel free to get up and leave, but take someone with you or something, or just hold on, you know, to someone's hand or something. So, because it can bring up stuff. But I wanted to just look at anger in terms of, a lot of times it's in this light where we're afraid of people with anger. And a lot of times, if you think about fear and hurt as the underlying things, those are not comfortable. Those are not empowering feelings. So we transform those often into anger, because that's when we start to feel empowered. We start to feel the energy. And that's the reason why some of that happens. Now, in society, there are some societies where they've kind of taught, and I'm going to maybe talk a little bit about the white culture, in the sense that we've told white women to stuff it. Just, you can't be angry, because we get the B word thrown at us once we turn angry, right? But it's okay for men to be, and this is a generalization, but it's okay for white men to be angry. And so in that, you know, women have been kind of down here where we're like, you're not empowered because you're feeling scared and afraid and hurt. But men, I know my man does not like to be down there. And as soon as he gets down there, it's like, we change the subject, or you're going to move to something else to feel energy, right? It's either get mad or eat a cookie. You get those two options. So I have a lot of cookies around the house for that reason. I'm joking. But it's not a comfortable place to be. So you move into the anger, right? And then you've got this energy. Okay, so that's where I'm going to move into the beauty of anger, because there is a beauty to anger. Where is it? She'll be walking any minute now. The beauty is, I said it's a signal. It's a signal telling you that something's not right with you. Something's not sitting right with you. It is not the way you want it to be. That is what it is telling you. And so it might be, I don't like the way I'm being treated. I don't like the way this is. I wish I had this. I mean, there's all sorts around that something's not right with you. And so to be able to feel that emotion and go, hey, let me stop and reflect on this. What do I not like? What is happening that I don't want? And if we want to go deeper, we can touch and say, well, what fear or what, hurt is happening? We can address that level. This stuff goes away. Sometimes this is harder to address or takes longer to address, and that's okay. That's part of our journey, right? So one thing is, it gives us an insight into ourselves of what maybe we don't like. But the other thing it does too is it gives us the energy to do something. So when I talk about that anger scale, on the lower levels, we're feeling angry or frustrated. There's other words like irritated. Those are the smaller, I've done irked. Smaller levels, then there's you put the effing word in front of it, it becomes a higher level of your word, of anger, of anything, right? So in those smaller levels, we have the capacity to do something. So I love that about anger, where it says, I've had enough of this. This has happened and I'm at the lower levels, but no, I'm gonna go speak to that person, or I'm gonna go take care of this, or I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna make a plan to handle this. If I'm up here, I can say, I'm gonna deal with this later. That is the thing to do. Set it aside, because that is not the time to make the plan or deal with it, because what we're gonna be doing, we're gonna regret often. Our minds are shutting down, and that's why. They call that you flipped your lid. And so the real rational mind is not there anymore, and our emotions are exposed, so we don't make good decisions. So I'm going to give a couple examples. I am not big on dogs that bark incessantly. Now, if someone's walking by the property and the dog goes, you're like, oh yeah, that's what a dog is supposed to do. You ring the doorbell, that's okay. These are little dogs, right? Big dogs, oh, don't bother me so much, you know. So, you know, that's what the dog's supposed to do. But I'm talking about when I go out on my back deck and I sit down, I get my computer out, I'm looking out over the water, and I'm starting a little typing, and you hear this, earth, earth, earth. And I'm like, okay, what? It's frustrating to me, and I know it's going to be frustrating. And I want to do something before I get to 10, because at 10, I'm going to be going, earth, back at the dog, right? And then that doesn't look good to my neighbors. They go, okay, there's Cindy Akana. She's flipped out on her back deck, barking back at a dog, you know? I said, I don't want to get up there, okay? So somewhere here, I've got to make a decision. So I'm like, okay. Right now, I can't do anything because I don't know who's home or if there's someone home, and I'm doing something I want to get done. So I could go in the house, shut the doors and stuff, and work inside this time. But I'm going to need to go over and talk with them and find out, were you home this afternoon? If you're home, is there a way that when your dog does that, you could bring it in? Usually that's a bark, like I'm bored. I'm bored. I'm bored. And I'm like, me too. And I realized, so I start to look beneath with the frustration, right? And I'm like, oh, you know what it is? There's a little bit of this, it's anxiety, which is, I guess, fear, right? That I'm trying to enjoy a peaceful time, focused on something, and every time they go, earth, it takes my attention away from this to that, because that's how I am built, or wired, right? There's some people that they could ignore that dog and never bother them. Not me. Earth. So then the earth dog. Okay, where was I again? So then the person ran down, earth. Right. You know, you can see for me, it's such a distraction. It's taking me out of myself every single time that dog barks. So that's the irritation. So I'm like, oh, okay, I get that, right? Okay, so I can't do anything about that right now. I'm going to go inside and I'm going to work. Or I'm going to put headphones on, play some classical music. Then I can't hear the earth, and I can work on what I do. So I can make choices, and I'm going to make them when I'm down here, 1, 2, and 3 on the anger scale, because I know if I'm up here, I'm going to be barking back at the dog. And I'm going to use my big boy dog voice. Oh, you know, whatever. So not good. So the simple example, another one, I think about traffic. I always realize, and even when I was coming here, I'm driving along, and all of a sudden you look in the rearview mirror, and you're going 60 or 62 when it's supposed to be 60, and you're in the right lane, and there's somebody right behind you. And I'm like, what are you doing? And I hate that. And so I go, okay, you're frustrated about that. You're angry about that. I mean, you're low level anger, right? But what is it? And well, the point is, you're putting my life in danger. Because if I have to stop quickly, you're going to be visiting my trunk, and I don't want you to do that. So there's a part about when people are in your safety zone when driving that I don't like that. And I do get frustrated. So I have to go, okay, make sure there's way distance between me and anyone in front of me. Or if I'm on the left lane, even if as soon as there's an opening, I'm going to pull over and let them by. You know, I don't need to prove anything to you that I can go on this faster than the speed limit and you have to stay behind me. I don't need to prove anything, because I'm really conscientious about, I don't want my space. I don't want some kind of accident to happen. So the anger at them, get it at lower, figure out what's going on. It's something that's manageable. But those are kind of like the, you know, little things that happen to us individually. But what about like when I'm at work and I said something, right? So teaching this year has been extremely difficult for me, and I have heard that it's nationwide, and it's a post-COVID thing. Students that came out of doing nothing but watching their phones, watching videos for 2 years, are in the classroom and they're addicted to their phones, and they don't know how to interact with each other personally, right? So you've got your friends, or could be friends in your classroom, but you'd rather be on your phone texting the person that's in another classroom that is your friend, right? So that's what's going on there. And so I start working, and it's like within the first couple of weeks, and then all of a sudden it's like, we had this huge community garden that we can go out and play in the garden and do stuff. Instead of being in a classroom on computers, we can actually go out and work in the garden. So I'm like, okay, let's get up. We're going to go out into the garden. And you hear do we have to? Like, yeah, okay, come on, let's go. And so get yourselves ready. I'm shutting down, I'm locking up the doors. And then there are two gals in the back of the room that are like, always do everything. They go, can we bring our computers out there so we can do that instead of work in the garden? And then I'm like, click. I moved from a 4 to a 5 to a 6 to a 7 really quickly, right? And then I'm like, I don't care what the heck you do, except I didn't use the word heck. I'm pretty sure I used the other one with the L's in the word, right? And I'm like, just get out of my class. And so then all of a sudden, because you use something like that, they're like, oh, we got to go, right? And I'm like, 5 times I've asked you to get up, but no, I have to use the H word. And then all of a sudden you're like, okay, we got to get out of the class, you know? Because all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm maybe angry. So they get up and they move, and we get out to there, and then I'm out there and I'm like, they all going to sit on the stage. Like only one person's going to do something. So I've got 7 people out there doing nothing. And I'm like, this blows me away. I just don't get this. Okay, so that's an anger level. I'm going to look at underneath it in a minute. But so I go, you know, I'm not sure your generation's going to make it. Can we be a little snippy? I'm not sure your generation's going to make it. I mean, and then I realized I have to recover. I mean, just being on, addicted to your phone, being on your phones all the time, right? Well, a couple of those girls did not like that comment. And then I'm going to accept you, except for the ones that were listening. I'm like, you guys will make it in. Because at that point, I'm like, okay, I've said something stupid, right? Well, one girl just stewed on that. So she finally goes, she gets up and she goes, we want to go see the principal. I'm like, yeah, okay, you can go do that. Well, they went there and I ended up in the principal's office later, right? And I have to go, yeah, you're right. That wasn't the right thing to say. And I won't do it again. And I was all fine with that. And that would, it's totally right. I've never had a student tell on me like that though. I go, this is funny. But the new principal had started a group of meeting with some students, and these were part of the students, so they felt comfortable with him, so they could go to him. I'm okay with that. It's like, yeah, that holds me accountable for what I say. Like, no, I'm not going to be lippy anymore for the rest of the year. I can handle that. But now I realize I have to do something before I get to where I turn lippy, right? So I left class. One time I called someone in and said, you got to take over because I got to get out of this class. And because I thought, I'm going to say something, and I'm at this level where someone's got to come in and I got to take a break, otherwise this is not going to be good, right? Again, what it's over? It's over use of cell phone. Students won't get off their phones. They start making fun of me because I've asked them to get off their phones. I'm like, I'm not having this. Someone else step in. Another time I went home for the day. But that was after the phrase I used, yeah, you got to send them to the calm room so I stay calm, Because again, 7 out of my 10 students were doing nothing, wouldn't do anything, no matter how I redirected, no matter how. And my class is set up so that they have like 9 things to choose from. 6 of those 9 things they have to do in the 6 weeks. So they get to pick. And if there's something not on there that they're not interested in doing, I will create another unit for them. So it's not like, okay, we're all going to sit here and do this. It's like, no, you can work on your food handler's permit. You can learn how to type. You can learn some more about music. You can learn about animation. You can learn, there's all these different things. I'm trying to find things that they're interested in doing. You can look for a job. You can put together your resume. So it's all very practical stuff. So they can't go, well, this isn't, it's like, yeah. And if you're not interested, what are you interested in? And I have kids that'll actually go like this, I don't know. And I know that's the case. They don't even know what they like to do because for 2 years they sat on their phones. And that's what they want to do. They want to play video games or sit on their phones. And I'm like, well, there's careers in video games. But no, I don't care. I don't want to create anything. I just want to play. And so it's like, oh, man, that's what I'm working with. And so I'm like, well, why do I get why is that the thing that pushes me up the anger scale? So I have to sit with that because I need to look underneath, right? I feel like they're wasting my time. I don't like to waste my time. I feel like I'm not even babysitting, because if you're babysitting, you can go, okay, here's the crafts, help yourself, do whatever, right? I can't do that. I'm trying to, because my boss has told me we want everyone engaged. So I'm constantly trying to engage, which means I have to put your phone away, or you get this choice or this choice, and then they get mad because they want power. And so every day, there's some kind of power struggle going on. Kids are getting mad. And I'm like, oh, this is so not fun. We need to be asking different questions in education right now. It's like, what do we need to do? We're like, well, we need more mental health. No, that's not the answer. There's other questions and other answers that we need to come up with. But for me, starting to realize the feeling of helplessness. I can't do anything. All the tricks that I've used the past 7 years are not working anymore. And I was really good at getting people to do stuff, and I'm not good at that anymore. Well, that scares me. I'm not good at what I do. I am powerless. So these are the things that are underlining what's going on. So, okay, now I'm like, okay, now you can do something. That anger, actually those times, just let you come back, which, by the way, the day I left and I came back, I have never had a better acting class in my entire life. And almost everyone was there, and we had a guest speaker, and they all participated like I would have loved them to. And I'm like, wow. But that was only one day that happened. The next day they were back to their old tricks. But anyway, it's still funny. But again, the anger is a place where it can help you identify what's underlining so you can deal with it. And it gives you the energy to say, hey, I'm not doing this again, right? I'm going to do something about it. So I got to make a plan. And it isn't always an easy plan. I mean, I'm still making plans. So every day I go back is a new day, and I'm going to try something new. I haven't given up yet, right? So every day is that. So that's where the anger becomes the beauty, is understanding that you can use it to understand yourself better, and you can use it to change your circumstances for yourself. Bigger picture. You can also use it against things like racism, inequality for LGBTIAQ plus folks. Did you get all those letters? It's what can you do for other people that are different from your experience? Because the idea of injustice is another thing. It's unfairness. It's actually a hurt to society, and I'm part of that society. So when the society is being hurt by prejudices, it's hurting me as well. And so again, that's where it's okay to be angry and realize, okay, what is it that I'm angry about? Now, what can I do? I can't wave my wand and change everything, but I can take some steps to make something different. So I think I hear something, so hold on. What do you want? I know. You think so? Okay, well, come on. Come on, Jasmine. This is Jasmine. Hi! What are you doing? My mouth isn't working right. There. Hi! Let's get you on here correctly. Where have you been? I've been out dancing. I'm mad. Oh? Yes, I'm mad. Okay, well. And don't you tell me to chill. You were thinking it. Don't do it. Don't tell me to chill. I wasn't going to tell you to chill. Okay. But tell me why you're angry. I'm angry because my friends make fun of my bun. Of that? Yes. Oh, that's sad. It is sad. My friends make fun of my bun. They say it looks like a crown. Oh. So they call me Queenie Jasmine. Oh, Jasmine, that's horrible. Yeah, it is. They call me Queenie Jasmine to my face. Okay, so that makes you angry? Yes, it makes me angry. Wouldn't it you? Oh, I would. Yeah, that'd make me angry. Make fun of my bun. Well, like your hair. Okay, if they made fun of my hair, yeah. Anyway, I'm mad. Okay. Can we try something? Sure. Let's try it. Okay, well, why do you think that makes you mad? Oh, because it makes me feel bad about myself. Ah, so when they make fun of you, you feel bad. Yeah, I feel bad about myself. I feel like they think I'm a loser. Oh, that is sad. Yeah, but I'm over it. Oh, you are you? Yeah, see? But I'm mad still. Okay, what about any fear? Yeah, I have fear. No, I mean in this situation. Oh, yeah. I'm afraid that they will not like me anymore. Oh. Yeah, and they will make other people not like me. Oh, that's big. It is big. Okay, it's big. She says it's big. It is big. Okay, so what do we do about it? Well,
Could you go beat them up?
No, I'm not going to go beat them up.
Oh.
We could go talk to them.
Well, could you go talk to them?
Well, I would go with you to go talk to them.
What would we say?
I don't know. Maybe tell them how it makes you feel. If they're your friends, they would listen to that, I would think.
Oh. If they don't, will you beat them up?
I will think about it, but I won't beat them up.
Okay. Well, what if they don't? What do we do?
Well, you fix your mouth. Look over there. Well, you wouldn't have to hang out with them. Oh, you can do that? Yeah, you don't have to hang out with people that are no fun.
Oh, that's an idea. That would make me sad, though.
Yeah, but you could find new friends that would treat you well.
Oh, yeah, that's true. These people could be my friends. Will you be my friends? Would you make fun of my bun?
Oh, that's great, isn't it?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Hi. Okay, well, let's talk later this afternoon.
Let's do it.
And if it don't work, I'm going to call these people to come play Sesame Street games. Okay?
Okay, that sounds great.
Okay, well, finish up your talk.
I think I'm done. I think you just finished it for me.
Oh, great. Yeah, good. Okay. Bye.
Thank you, Jasmine. So let me go into a song and then into a quick meditation. Let me just make this song the meditation. Let me be the love I want to receive, oh let it flow through me abundantly. Let me be the love I want to receive, oh let it flow as I breathe. Let me be the peace I want to receive, oh let it flow through me abundantly. Let me be the peace I want to receive, oh let it flow as I breathe. Breathe in, breathe out. Love in, love out. Let it flow till the world is full. Oh, let me be the love. Let me be the love I want to receive, oh let it flow through me abundantly. Let me be the love I want to receive, oh let it flow as I breathe. Let it flow as I breathe.